Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
Cowboys Tyler Smith suffers torn plantar fascia in his foot, but it's actually not bad news. Typically, when news breaks that a player completely tore something in his foot, it's bad news. Not so for Dallas Cowboys guard Tyler Smith, who got some good news despite the update sounding scary. In the Cowboys' 20-19 win over the Detroit Lions, Smith is believed to have completely torn the plantar fascia in his foot, according to NFL Network's Ian Rapoport. Which is apparently good news for Smith. Often, partial tears are worse for players. A partial tear can keep a player sidelined for several weeks, which is why a full tear is considered to be the preferred outcome, as it provides immediate relief. Good outcome for Smith. Cowboys Smith went down in the third quarter and grabbed for his foot. The second-year guard out of Tulsa entered the medical tent and did not return to the game, although he was moving around without assistance. An MRI conducted on Sunday confirmed that Smith had suffered a full tear of the plantar fascia. Despite the severe-sounding nature of the injury, Smith didn't lose any strength in his foot and felt he could have returned to the game. The standout on the Cowboys' offensive line is not expected to miss significant time because of the injury. In fact, the team isn't ruling him out for the Week 18 finale against the Washington Commanders yet. Dallas can still win the NFC East with a win, along with the Philadelphia Eagles losing one of their remaining 2 games. Smith was replaced on Saturday by undrafted rookie TJ Bass, who would be in line to start if Smith is unable to go next week. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott isn't holding back in his thoughts about CeeDee Lamb following his 227-yard performance. On a night that saw the Cowboys escape with a 20-19 victory over the Detroit Lions following 3 failed 2-point attempts by the Lions, the night was notable due to Lamb's record-setting night. Not only did Lamb post a career-high 13 catches and 227 yards, he broke Michael Irvin's franchise single-season record for both receptions, 122 to Irvin's 111, and receiving yards, 1,651 to 1,603. Needless to say, Prescott, who threw a 92-yard touchdown pass to Lamb during the first quarter, doesn't believe the 24-year-old receiver is done setting records. He's really just getting going, and I can tell you as long as I'm here, he'll probably stack these records in each and every year, to be honest with you, said Prescott following the game. The fact that Lamb was able to break Irvin's receiving records, he set the receptions mark in 1995 and the receiving yards mark in 1991, with 1 game to spare in the regular season, lends credence to the belief that Lamb will continue to stack records as his career progresses in Dallas. Lamb's receiving totals, receptions, receiving yards and touchdowns, have actually only grown with each passing season since he entered the NFL in 2020. The 200-yard performance by Lamb was also the first by a Cowboys receiver in a single game since Amari Cooper accomplished the feat during the 2019 season. CeeDee Lamb sends message on setting Cowboys franchise records. It's a surreal moment, Lamb said after setting the franchise records, via Cherian Williams of NBC Sports. Obviously, shout out to my guys. We continue to work, continue to build and continue to grow. It showed I wouldn't be able to do any of this without them. We're looking forward to keeping it going. Lamb shared Prescott's sentiment when it comes to setting more records, stressing that it's the new standard for himself. I still want to break more of them, Lamb said. I have the tiger mentality of whatever I set for myself. Obviously, I'm going to enjoy it. But now that's the new standard and new level for myself. I like to work. The 2-time Pro Bowl receiver will have the opportunity to extend his record even more when the Cowboys play their final regular season game against the Washington Commanders. Lamb previously posted 4 receptions for 53 receiving yards and 1 touchdown in a 45-10 win over the Commanders on Thanksgiving. CeeDee Lamb issued drug test following record-breaking performance. Following his record-breaking performance, Lamb was actually issued a drug test by the NFL, as RJ Ochoa of SB Nation's Blogging the Boys noted. NFL players being issued random drug tests following excellent performances are nothing new. Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs was issued a drug test after an 80-yard, 2-touchdown game on Christmas Eve. Gibbs found the letter at his locker immediately following the game, as Fox News' Chance Martin notes. However, as Martin also notes, it's a standard practice in the NFL. A player receiving notification that they must take a drug test is considered standard practice in the NFL, writes Martin. If a player declines to take the test, it is typically considered as a positive result and can carry serious penalties. Considering the Cowboys are coming off of a big win over a division winner and Lamb just posted the best game of his career, the star receiving can have a good laugh over the timing of this random drug test. The NFL playoffs will arrive soon and the Dallas Cowboys are already getting a few things to bounce their way. Dallas now controls its own destiny in the NFC East after Philadelphia's surprising loss to Arizona. The Cowboys head into the final week of the regular season as the favorites to win the division. With the postseason nearing, questions continue to surround the Cowboys' linebacking core. Dallas released Rashaan Evans heading into Week 17, and the team already lost Leighton Vander Esch for the season. USA Today's Angel Torres outlined a few options for the Cowboys, including former Super Bowl starter Corey Littleton. The veteran brings with him an impressive resume highlighted by making the Pro Bowl in 2018. Littleton was also a starter during the Rams' run to the Super Bowl this same season. Most recently, Littleton had short stints with the Texans and Saints this season. Houston poached Littleton off New Orleans' practice squad in November. The Texans released the defender less than 1 month later. Let's examine the case for the Cowboys signing Littleton ahead of the NFL playoffs. Could the Dallas Cowboys make a late roster addition heading into the NFL playoffs? Littleton brings with him 71 starts and 120 appearances over his 8 NFL seasons. Clearly, if Littleton was still playing at a Pro Bowl level, the defender would unlikely still be a free agent. Yet, the Cowboys head into the postseason thin at linebacker. Littleton could be a good insurance policy going into the postseason. If you are the type who doesn't want to hear the phrase, "We like our guys" echo out of Frisco, but what about guys in the state of Texas? If so, I present to you free agent linebacker Corey Littleton, Torres wrote in December 27, 2023 article titled, 7 Linebacker Additions to Help with Cowboys with the Home Stretch. The 8-year veteran has experience playing both inside and out, checking the versatility box for Dallas. Late-season additions rarely generate the type of impact fans have come to expect, yet Littleton, a former Pro Bowler, started in Super Bowl 53 with the then Jared Goff-led Rams. That experience behind the current Cowboys starters could yield positive results and, at the very least, provide valuable depth. Heading into Week 18, the Dallas Cowboys are the number 2 seed in the NFC East. Regardless of who is on the final roster, the Cowboys now have a legitimate chance to host multiple playoff games. A win over the Commanders in Week 18 secures the NFC East title for Dallas. If the Washington pulls off the upset, Dallas would need Philly to lose to the Giants in order to win the division. The Eagles' loss to the Cardinals moved the Cowboys up to the number 2 seed from number 5. This means Dallas would not play on the road until potentially the NFC Championship if the team makes a run. It is significant news given the Cowboys' home-road splits. Dallas is a perfect 8-0 at AT&T Stadium but are just 3-5 on the road. It is fitting that the Cowboys will need a road win at Washington to have the potential for home cooking in the postseason.